It's where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Sean Preston.
Welcome, everybody, to the Good Neighbor podcast. Today, we have a lovely neighbor on with us, and that is Courtney Diamond of Perfect Paws. How are you, my dear?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thanks. Just actually reminiscing over the full bag of Reese's Pieces that I crushed between the shows, and I'm kind of half liking it, half my stomach's telling me something different.
Yeah, my stomach would feel the same.
What's your guilty pleasure? You got one? Mine's Reese's Pieces.
The powder donuts, the mini ones?
Oh, yeah.
I could eat an entire box of those in one sitting. Love them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I should actually ask that question on the show more often. What's your guilty pleasure? That would be what a great way to start a show.
It is. It's good, like introduction type of thing.
So I saw you on my calendar today and didn't recognize your name. So I went on and bounced around online to try to find you. And I did. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. A little mobile nail trimming services for cats and dogs. That's fun.
Yeah, it's nice.
So, okay, let's dive into it then. So for our listeners on the show and myself as well, because we've never met, tell us a little bit more about your business.
Yeah, so Perfect Paws is a mobile business. I don't work out of a van. I go into the pet parents' homes and complete nail trims, nail grinds. I do brush out, just a bunch of smaller grooming stuff. I don't offer full grooms, though. A lot of people think I do, but I don't. But I just pretty much do it in the comfort of the fur baby's home. So they're comfortable, they're not stressed, because so many of them get stressed at the vet, the groomers, in the car. So just I go to them and they don't have to leave their home.
That's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
So you do kind of little like minor grooming. You said that's where you'd be kind of like going around the paws and making everything look symmetrical after you do the nails?
Yeah, pretty much. So if they want to add on a nail trim, if they want to add a paw trim onto the nail trim, then I just kind of tie up around the paws. So it's good for breeds like golden retrievers, border collies, any of the dogs that have Grinch feet, which I like to call it, like the really fluffy toes.
Yeah.
Or I can trim the paw pads.
Okay. Yeah. I just did my 3-year-old Australian Shepherd.
Okay.
He's like slipping all over the place. We got hardwood floors everywhere. Yeah. And then of course I've had him long enough now to look under his paws and go, okay, we need to do a little session here.
Oh yes, it definitely helps with the slipping and sliding.
So how do you feel? Like, are people using your service? Because like, I'll take my significant other as an example, right? She and our daughter, Chanel, they care too much about making a mistake.
Yes.
Right. And I've had enough experience of some people kind of teach me, some professionals teach me how's the right way to do it. So I feel more kind of comfortable. But generally speaking, like, what do you get from customers? Is it kind of that uncomfortable thing, or is it just like the ease of the convenience, a bit of both?
I think it's a bit of both. I think mainly a lot of their dogs or cats don't like the car ride. So they think if I don't have to leave, that's convenience for us.
All right.
Some people with their work schedule, it's more convenient for me to go to them, and others also just don't feel comfortable trimming the nails, which is totally understandable. It can be very intimidating, especially with the black nails. So if they don't feel comfortable, I'm more than happy to go to them.
Are you ever in the future, do you think you'd ever offer like a dog or a cat washing kind of service where you would do the nails but then also wash them in the client's home?
I think maybe like way, 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 way down in the future, maybe. I don't know. That's definitely something that I have to think about.
I'm kind of thinking to myself, I'm like a curious cat. So I try to let curiosity kind of guide our conversation.
Yeah.
So if I was ever, let's say like Jax needs to get his bath, he's due for a bath. And it's, I don't mind doing it. I do it, but sometimes I get lazy. Well, if he needed a nail trim, I'd kind of combine them together type of thing. So that's the reason behind me asking the question.
Oh yeah, maybe in the future I would get back into that.
Okay, so now let me ask you, how did you get into doing what you're doing? I'm so curious to ask you this question.
Yeah, so since I was a little girl, I've always known that I wanted to work with animals. I've always had a job in the animal field. I actually used to be a full groomer for about 5 to 6 years. COVID hit, we got put on a break because we weren't essential. And then it just also became a lot on the body. After doing it so long, it's a lot on the body, it's a lot on the mental health, which people don't think it is, but it's a very physical job. So I decided to take a break from the full grooms but I still wanted to offer the nail trims for all of the nervous dogs, the nervous cats. So I thought, hey, why not go to them? I have a vehicle I can drive. Why not take my talents and experience and bring it to the home?
And you get to work for yourself nonetheless.
Yes, the best part.
What's
Yeah.
that experience been? How long have you had your business now for?
So it's a little tricky. I've kind of been on and off. I worked at an emergency vet clinic when I lived in Ottawa, and I did this on the side, but because of how busy I was at the vet clinic, I kind of put this on the back burner. I moved back to Barrie in December, and I became an official registered business in February.
Nice. Of this year?
Yes, so I've really been pushing it since then.
Cool. Welcome to the club.
Thank you. It's been fun.
Really, really, really cool.
Yeah.
Not having a ceiling, not having anybody telling you what to do, and
Yes.
everything is soak into it. You get to take it all for yourself. Which is
Yeah,
great.
you need some vacation time. You don't need to ask anybody. You just ask yourself, and it's perfect.
Yeah, I was bullied a lot growing up in elementary school, high school, in the workforce. And I could just, I don't know, I always seemed to attract these gentlemen who, didn't see potential, or maybe they saw value, but didn't really treat me the best. And
Yeah.
I've always wanted to be a business owner. My parents both own businesses. Both my younger sisters are business owners.
Oh, wow, good for you guys.
As well. So I'll talk to you about my youngest sister,
Mhm.
Chantel. She just started running dogs
What's
recently.
that?
So you might be both a nice connection, maybe a little alliance partnership happening.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, so when it comes to going into people's homes
Mhm.
and trimming nails for the
Mhm.
fur babies, are there any like myths or like misconceptions that you get from people?
Yeah, so when booking, a lot of the times people will always throw in my dog or my cat, they're not aggressive. And I go, okay, but how are they for their nail trims? And they go, they're not aggressive. They're not aggressive dogs, they're not aggressive cats. And I go, okay, well, I do have muzzles, cones, just in case they don't like their nail trims. Because a lot of people think just because their pet's not aggressive, they're not aggressive for the nail trims. So it's not that they're aggressive, it's more out of fear. So when
Right.
a dog or cat gets scared and they don't like something happening to them, they'll react as fear. I've met so many dogs and cats that are like the sweetest fur babies ever. But the second I bring those nail clippers out, a little switch flips in them and it's like, oh, you just turned into Cujo. Okay, cool.
Yeah, all of a sudden you're Cruella de Vil, right?
Yeah. So it's a lot of fear based that they'll react to.
What's like what you got a like a story that let's keep it positive because I'm a
Yeah.
positive guy, but like
Nice.
a heartwarming kind of a cute story of you went in and you were doing, maybe the animal wasn't, they were fearful when you were kind of going in, but you somehow managed to make it work.
Yeah, so I'm actually working with 2 dogs right now. One of them is a rescue from Mexico, and I actually haven't done any nail trimming yet with them. I've seen them about twice now. When I first went in, they were terrified. They would run at the sight of the clippers. One of them wouldn't let me even touch her. The second visit, only my second time seeing them, I was able to fully touch one of their paws, the one that wouldn't let me touch her. She's letting me give her like hugs, kisses, letting me touch her paws and play with them. The other one that would run at the sight of clippers, I have a really cute picture on my Instagram. She has her paws like this, and the clippers resting on both of her paws.
Cool.
Yeah, so both moms were like, "Oh my goodness, this is amazing." She used to run just at the sight of them, and now you're placing them on her paws, which is awesome. So
Very
that's
cool.
nice to see stuff like that.
So I've been perusing myself around the pet services world for especially the last 6 months. I've done some interviewing, done some, and had some pretty cool conversations with business owners in and around this field. So I know there's a word for that, which is desensitizing.
Yes.
And we never really got the chance to talk about that. It didn't actually even come top of mind. So is that something that you offer where, let's say, they have an animal's got a big problem, whether it's getting in the car because of it, the veterinarian specifically, or they lose their mind at the sight of seeing the clippers, that you'll actually go in and work multiple sessions to desensitize the animal so that they can eventually get that service done?
Yeah, so I actually just started offering it. It's called the Quality Time Package. It's 30 minutes each session that I'll go in, and I don't even have to like touch the nail trimmers, nothing. It's just more so a one-on-one with me and the cat or the dog to get them comfortable with myself, with me being in their home, with all of my equipment, and just to build that connection with them before I'm like, oh, hey, let me trim your nails now and do something you don't like.
That's a really smart service to add in there. I think you're going to get a lot of people who are going to take advantage of that.
I hope so.
Yeah. I mean, every pet's different, but like even think of COVID, like everybody got pets, and then, a lot of pets had to go in homes, and some of them got scooped up. Not everyone, unfortunately. And then the other pets, people went back to doing what they're doing. So, even at a point when you're home, like, I'm here all day today, and, my guy's down there. Now, thankfully, Julie's down there, so that's all right. But that's not the case all the time for most pets. And then so these behavioral patterns start happening, and then problems start arising. And now you've got a service where you'd be able to eliminate some of that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. Very cool. Okay. So you're definitely younger than me. I know that.
How old do you think I am, just by looking at me?
Oh my God. I would peg you in your 20s.
Okay.
Well, I mean, 20s is a broad range. I want to be safe and say mid-20s.
We're 20s.
Like 25, 26?
28.
Okay. Not bad. You age well.
At 17 to 22.
Look at you. Yeah, I was trying to be a little safer. I'm like, I don't know. Should I say it? Good for you, girl. Good for you. Rock and roll.
Thank you.
Okay, so 28. You're still young. Your whole life ahead of you. I mean, geez, I'm only like 35. I'm not that far.
I would have said 32.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Look at us go, eh? Look at us go. So, okay, so what do you like to do for fun when you're not working on or in your business?
Yeah, hanging out with friends and family as much as I can. I like being outdoors, going on hikes in the summertime, being on the water. I have 2 cats of my own, so spending as much time as I possibly can with them. They're definitely my babies. So just, doing all that stuff. I love being outdoors.
So lots of hiking, you go in the trails for hikes, that type of thing?
Yes.
Yeah. You got any favorite ones, or are they secretive and we can't tell on the air here?
Now that I just moved back in December, so I haven't gotten too far out into the trails yet, just because I've been focusing a lot on Perfect Paws.
Yeah.
But hopefully this summer I will find some nice ones. If you know any, please feel free to share.
Yeah, the Copeland forests out in line 2, 3, 4, 5 Oro Medonte, west side of the highway. Yeah. There's all the Simcoe County forest. The Copelands off the 400 is the easiest way, but you can get lost in there. They go deep, but absolutely beautiful, especially starting around this time of year, all the way throughout the fall. Whereabouts are you in Barrie?
Yeah.
You're in Barrie?
I'm in the southeast end.
Yeah. So even something like the Arda Bluffs have some trails in that little neighborhood, something.
Oh, yeah, I'm actually in that neighborhood.
There you go. Okay, phenomenal. I grew up there for 15 years. That's how I know.
Perfect. I will definitely check those out.
Yeah, I'm a big nature guy. I live northwest of the city, so just at the top of the hill and behind the landfill, they have all of these kind of hidden trails that nobody really knows about.
Yeah.
Are pretty good. So Jax and I, we like to run. We run about 5-kilometer runs, nothing too crazy, but we like doing them in the trails. So we can just boot right out of the front door. And the next thing you know, boom, we're on the trails, and you can go a ways in there as
Oh,
well
I'm
too.
sure you
Pretty
can.
cool.
You can get lost for sure.
So right where I go out, actually,
Mhm.
if I just keep going down the whole fence line, it's about 2.5 clicks from here.
Okay.
I can see the Arda Bluffs from the top of the hill.
Oh, wow.
I can see Mapleton Street. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome. I definitely need to check that out.
Yeah. So we got some good ones, and I've had a couple of other guests on the show who
Mhm.
who do a lot of that as well too. And one guest wouldn't share anything, so there's some really
Oh.
good trails out there.
Oh, yeah. Especially if they gatekeep those, they're good.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's switch gears here a little bit and have something conversation a little bit more on the serious side of things.
Yeah.
So sometimes in life we don't necessarily get to choose
Mhm.
what we or path we go on. We do our best to kind of aim in a general direction,
Mhm.
and then we start going down it. We think that, hey, this to us seems like the best avenue, the best course of action, and then life happens, stuff
Oh,
that's
yes.
outside of our control. We can't necessarily do much about it other than
Mhm.
to kind of go through these challenges, these life hardships. And
Yeah.
but the cool thing about it is
Mhm.
finding those silver linings, holding
Oh,
on
yeah.
to hope in some cases to be able to push through that mentally, and
Mhm.
then continue on. So I wanted to ask you if you've ever had a hardship or a life challenge that you overcame, and maybe it made you better, maybe it made you stronger, maybe you took some silver linings from it.
Yeah. So like you said before, you were bullied at all throughout school, workplaces. I was too. I've been to many different schools within a short period of time. Friend groups, I would always be, it would be good and then it wouldn't be good. And then job fields, I would always get taken advantage of. When I was at the vet clinic, it was fantastic. Lovely group of people. It was so nice. I went to work one day and unexpectedly lost my job that same day due to some budget cuts. So then I found myself 5 hours away from all my family with no job. I ended up driving down to Barrie to see them just because I had all this time off now to try and figure out what I really wanted to do now. And on my way down with my cats, my car's engine blew up on me.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So not only did I lose my job, but I also lost my car all within 24 hours of each other, which isn't good because having a mobile business and then no car,
Kind of
it's
need
a little
that.
tricky. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I ended up moving back in with my parents. They welcomed me with open arms and my cats. They helped me figure out our car situation, got that up and running, and that really helped. So I think if none of that happened to me, I wouldn't be as far in as I am with Perfect Paws right now. I think I would kind of be on the back burner still. So in some ways, I'm thankful that it happened the way it did because now I can really focus on doing something I enjoy more than anything.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, everything happens for a reason, and
Yeah.
I can attest what your parents did for you, mine did
Mhm.
for me, and for my youngest sister as
Good.
well too.
Yeah.
So always nice to be able to have that support system. And
Oh, yeah, parents are great.
so okay, so you had it on the back burner, and
Mhm.
then what was that conversation like with your parents? Was it you who kind of said, "Hey, this is what I really want to do," and then obviously clearly they supported you, or did they have a hand in kind of pushing that forward and really encouraging you to kind of take up your mantle and do your dream job?
So when I first moved down here, I still want to stay in the vet field because I loved it. But all of the vet clinics I was applying to were declining my resume because I had too much experience working at the emergency clinic. So that really put a toll on me, really messed with my mental health a lot, thinking I wasn't good enough for anything. And then my mom was the one to be like, hey, why don't you really push Perfect Paws again and get back into it? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know if it would do well here. And she pushed and pushed being a mom. She pushed and now I have her to thank for this. So
Very cool. Go
definitely,
mom.
yeah. Oh yeah. And my dad also pushed me too, but he stays a little bit back more. My mom's more of the pushy one. But I love them
Nice.
both. Yeah.
Very cool. That's
Yeah.
a great story. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I've got a pretty close family where my parents did the same for me, and It's always nice having that support system. I know what that
Oh, yeah.
feels like. So
It's fantastic.
and now here you are, rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
Now we're on a podcast, just shooting
Exactly. Yeah.
the shit.
Definitely
Very
paid
cool.
off.
All right. So what's one thing that you wish our listeners knew about your business if you had to pick one thing?
Yeah. I pretty much already spoke about it before, that I go into the homes and I don't have a van. But I think that's pretty much it. Just that I'm mobile. I come to you guys. I complete the service in your home.
Your
All
genuine passion, maybe, for
all of
animals.
the experience that I've had with animals. I have, like I said, 2 cats of my own. One has asthma and one has seizures. So I'm very familiar with fear-free and making sure that I try and eliminate stress as much as I can, just because of their health issues. So I always try and eliminate the stress for the fur babies as well that I'm going to see.
Very cool. Awesome stuff. Well, there's definitely going to be some people listening to this who are now interested in saying, wow, I didn't know that might not have been something that I ever thought existed. And it does.
Yeah.
And so now they're interested. So for the ones who are, what is the best way that they can get a hold of you?
Yeah, so I don't have a website just yet. I'm working on that, but that will come out shortly. I have a Facebook page, so www.facebook.com/perfectpaws96, or I have an Instagram, perfectpaws96. I also have an email that I can be reached at, which is perfectpaws96@gmail.com, or my cell phone number, which is also on all of those platforms as well, that people can reach me at to book an appointment or any questions and inquiries.
Wonderful. Love the consistency as a branding guy myself. Love it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming on the show. Wonderful young woman, a great business. Really happy to have you on here, help you spread your message.
Yeah.
You are more than welcome, and looking forward to maybe potentially doing this down the line.
Absolutely.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast Midhurst. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpmidhurst.com. That's gnpmidhurst.com, or call 705-413-3775.